Alright, hey you guys, this is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Akame Got Killed episode 7, Kill the 3, part 1. And okay, so I was all happy-go-lucky today, and then literally as soon as I started watching the episode and they mentioned that Shaylay died, I teared up again. Like, that is absolutely horrible. I'm becoming so emotional. Animes are starting to get to me. But I was so hurt that Shaylay isn't going to be in the series anymore, and I literally had forgotten about it. I wasn't thinking about it until I watched this episode and they mentioned it, and Akame started crying because Tatsumi asked her, because she was taking an offering to the deceased. She made Shaylay's favorite snack and was about to take it to her grave, and Tatsumi was he was admiring Akame at first because he said that she looked so calm and composed and all that good stuff even after Shaylay had literally just passed away. So he asked her about this and she broke down and was just almost on the verge of bawling her eyes out. She was crying and asking Tatsumi how is she being composed when Shaylay was really her best friend, and just a lot of stuff. It made me really sad. I was so hurt watching this episode. Just the beginning, I was so hurt, but I mean, what can you do? So after all that, Tatsumi decided, he made Akame a promise, and he said that no matter what, he was going to make it out alive. He was not going to die, and he wasn't going to make her sad again, because he didn't want her to have to lose anybody else that was important to her, because he knew that when they first, I think it was the first episode or so, Akame told Tatsumi that, well, pretty much on his first mission, she told him that she was hoping that he was going to be okay, and she was happy that he was okay. So the fact that she cares so much for him already, and they just met, you probably can already begin to imagine how she felt for Shaylay and how her death has impacted her. So, and everybody else that is part of Night Raid. So, in that, Tatsumi made this promise that he was going to become stronger and he wasn't going to die and make Akame sad. So, thus is how most of the episode went, was Tatsumi, first Tatsumi was training with Akame, and Akame landed a really good hit on him and he wanted to keep going. And then Bulat, Bulat didn't punch him in the face, Tatsumi kind of ran into his fist. That sounds really off, but Tatsumi really did just run into his fist. So Bulat, he started fighting Bulat, and Bulat, we find out a little backstory about Bulat later on in this episode, but I'll go into that later. So he was training with Bulat, and then they get they show Esdeath. Esdeath has finally made it to the capital, and the minister and the emperor asks her what she desires, because she really doesn't want fame and fortune and all that good stuff. She really just likes killing. So yeah, so they asked her what she wanted, and she said she wants to fall in love. So the way she said it did not sound very promising at all. So I'm quite concerned about how this is going to turn out, with her saying that the one thing that she wants is to fall in love. So on top of that, she has 3 cronies that aid her in her endeavors, and they started killing off political leaders that disagreed with the minister, and they showed one of them, and it was brutal. Dude, he was pretty freaking awesome, and he took out pretty much everybody by himself. And then the cat girl, Nya, however you pronounce her name, she skinned the girl alive until she died from shock, which is still a little creepy. I see why she's part of Esdeath's group. So they finished all that, and those 3 are pretty much making it look like Night Raid is the one who's taking out all these people, but the main thing that they have in common with them is that they oppose the emperor. So they're kind of I guess on Night Raid side, because Night Raid is pretty much not necessarily to overthrow the emperor, but to take out all the bad within the capital and make the capital a better place. So I guess they do have that in common. which I don't understand why they would try to put that on Night Raid when they kind of have the same kind of goal. But I mean, so those three have been taking out political leaders and everything. So Night Raid got a mission to watch two political leaders that were supposed to be coming to the outskirts of the capital. And Lubbock and Akame went to watch one, while Bulat and Tatsumi went to go watch another. And they show Akame and Akame and Lubbock, they weren't fighting. So Akame knew that they weren't coming to where that political leader was. So Akame was like, well, I hope that Tatsumi and Bulat will be okay. And then they show that Tatsumi and Bulat, they're on a ship, which is a really big ship. Like, even Tatsumi said it looks like a fortress. So they're on the ship, and out of nowhere you hear this flute music playing, and then everybody starts like falling out and falling asleep. So Tatsumi, he realizes that it is probably like it is connected to the flute playing, and we find out that the three as death cronies are on the ship, and the female Nya, is playing flute and putting people to sleep. And Tatsumi was able to fight this, which I think is pretty awesome considering that everybody else was literally knocked out on the floor. So so Tatsumi like goes outside, and he's confronted by the biggest of the three cronies, and he tries to fight him, and he lands the crony lands like 2 or 3 good hits on Tatsumi, cuts him up pretty good. And then Bulat, as Tatsumi was charging towards him, Bulat literally punched him in the face and started fussing at him in the middle of the fight. So the crony, I'm just gonna call him crony. The crony was like, Bulat is pretty awesome. You're an interesting dude, blah blah blah. And he pretty much wanted to fight him. But let me get back to the side story. So Bulat, he was talking about pretty much what happened to his general and why he left the capital, because his general was pretty much blackballed and put into prison because he didn't take the minister's bribe. So he was put away, and then they were about to put Bulat away because Bulat was pretty much like the general's right-hand man. And when he was about to be sentenced for his criminal acts that he didn't commit, he used his imperial arms to break out of prison. So that's how Bulat became part of Night Raid. And it turns out, after Bulat took out the biggest crony, the blonde-haired man that had originally killed all those people at the beginning, he killed him in one fell swoop and took out both of the other cronies, which Bulat is just freaking awesome, even though he did make a pass at Tatsumi because he pretty much told him that he was in love with Tatsumi. But that's neither here nor there. So I still love Bulat. Bulat is awesome. I guess he can move up to being my new favorite character besides Akame. So Tatsumi was pretty much praising Bulat for being so awesome and doing all these great things, and it turns out that the long-haired man that is part of the 3 as death cronies turns out to be his former general, and his general recognized Bulat. So that is not good. Not good. So this episode was actually really pretty awesome. I was pretty stoked to see this episode, even though I was so hurt that Shayla's not there no more. But this episode is awesome. So yeah, I'm happy. I was happy to watch this one. I missed Akame got killed all week. So I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you feel about there being one less Night Raid member? So yeah, I'm just going to cut this one short before I start tearing up. So as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.